Can you believe that the average price of electric vehicles have dropped by more than 20% in the last year alone? Yeah, why is this happening and what does it mean for you? With government incentives and changes in batteries, it looks like the market is getting ready for more changes. EV car prices are about to absolutely crash in the next few months, and here's why. First up, let's talk about the overwhelming increase in EV production. Have you noticed how the electric vehicle landscape has changed dramatically in the past few years? What was once a small niche market dominated by a few key players has now become a massive industrial battleground. Major automotive giants are now all in the game. It's not just a passing trend, this is happening worldwide. From North America and Europe to Asia and Australia, factories are being built just to make electric vehicles. But why is this important? Well, think about what happens when you start making more of something. Have you ever noticed that the more you produce, the cheaper each unit becomes? That's what's happening with the EVs right now. We're seeing economies of scale at work on a massive level. Established car companies jumping into the EV market are fueling this change. Companies that were once hesitant are now pushing hard to shift to electric cars. How does this affect you? This competition is driving innovation and inevitably lowering prices. With more EVs being produced than ever before, prices are set to drop. This means companies are noticing this drop and are strategizing accordingly. For instance, Tesla slashed prices on its Model 3 and Model Y, causing other automakers to follow suit to stay competitive. Ford cut prices on its Mach-E by up to $8,100 in March 2024, and the F-150 Lightning saw reductions of up to $5,500. Volkswagen offered $13,000 off the 2023 ID.4 all-wheel drive Pro S with a new lease deal to clear inventory for the upcoming 2024 model. Hyundai also significantly lowered prices for the Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 6, making them some of the most fuel-efficient EVs in the US. Used EV prices have dropped dramatically, with some models losing between 17% and 39% of their value over the past year. This trend is largely driven by the aggressive pricing strategies of new models. That brings us to this next point. Governments around the world are pushing hard for electric vehicles. Policymakers are working hard to make EVs the preferred choice for consumers. How are they doing this? One of the most direct ways is through financial incentives. Have you heard about subsidies and tax rebates? For example, some countries offer thousands of dollars in rebates right at the point of purchase, slashing the price of EVs. This makes them competitive with, or even cheaper than, gasoline-powered cars. Substantial government incentives like the Clean Vehicle Tax Credit in the US make owning an electric vehicle more affordable and accessible to more people. For example, the revised qualifications for the tax credit meant that popular models like the Tesla Model Y saw sales surge by 50% in 2023. Why does this matter? This upfront cost reduction is a big deal for many buyers who might otherwise hesitate due to the higher initial costs of EVs. But it doesn't stop there. Governments are also investing heavily in EV infrastructure. Ever wondered about the importance of public charging stations? They're crucial for long-distance travel and for city dwellers without private charging facilities. The logic is simple. The easier it is to own and operate an EV, the more likely people are to switch. Have you seen how some regions are integrating EVs into their environmental and economic policies? They're not just offering consumer incentives. They also provide benefits for businesses that switch their fleets to electric, reduce registration fees, and offer tax advantages to EV manufacturers. In the US, new EV registrations hit 1.4 million in 2023, marking a 40% increase from the previous year. Want to know what drove this spike? The updated Clean Vehicle Tax Credit made popular models like the Tesla Model Y eligible for substantial tax breaks, boosting sales. But did you know US automakers like GM and Ford are facing tough competition? International brands like Hyundai, Kia are now holding a significant share of the market. What about Europe? Europe also experienced strong growth, with nearly 3.2 million new electric car registrations in 2023. Curious about which countries are leading the charge? Germany, France, and the UK have all reached significant milestones. Although the phase-out of purchase subsidies in Germany slowed overall sales growth, the share of the electric cars remains high across Europe. Now let's talk about battery technology. It's not just getting better, it's revolutionizing the whole industry. Remember when electric vehicles were super expensive mainly because of their batteries? Well, that's changing fast. Advances in battery tech are overhauling the system, making EVs more affordable than ever. So what's behind these advancements? The big change has been lithium-ion batteries. Have you heard about how researchers have increased their energy density? This means they can store more power without getting bigger or heavier. We could be looking at a battery that's smaller, lighter, cheaper, and more powerful. Sounds great, right? Plus, there's more exciting news. Solid-state batteries are on the horizon. These promise even greater efficiency, faster charging, and longer life than lithium-ion batteries. They could also reduce the risk of overheating, making EVs safer while pushing down costs. But it's not just the batteries improving. Ever wondered about the electric motors that turn battery power into motion? Engineers are making them more compact, powerful, and efficient, which helps cut down the overall cost of EVs. And let's not forget the onboard software. This software manages everything from battery usage to navigation, making EVs smarter and more energy efficient. These advancements aren't just about making parts cheaper, they're about making them better. As EVs have become more automated and connected, this software plays a crucial role in optimizing performance and extending the life of the components. All these innovations help reduce production costs. As the tech evolves, it gets cheaper to produce electric vehicles. What about market saturation? Ever notice how every market reaches a tipping point? The EV market is no exception. At first, a surge in demand driven by environmental awareness and cutting-edge technology fueled the EV industry. Now we're navigating the choppy waters of market saturation. So what does that mean for you? Think about it. As more consumers turned to electric cars, manufacturers ramped up production. What started as a niche market with a few key players has exploded into a bustling arena of competition. From luxury automakers to budget-friendly brands, everyone wants their own electric car. Does this sound like a consumer's dream? Well, it brings the classic scenario of market saturation. When a market gets saturated, there are more products available than consumers who want to buy them. This isn't just about new cars. There's also a growing market for second-hand EVs. These used electric cars are becoming an attractive option for budget-conscious buyers, shaking up the pricing dynamics of new models. So how are manufacturers responding to this competition and the booming secondary market? They're adopting competitive pricing strategies. The result? Prices start to drop, making electric vehicles more accessible to a broader audience. It's great for consumer wallets. With lower prices and more options than ever, the choices and savings are amazing. Companies like BYD and Tesla are leading the charge, pushing prices down globally. In China, the fierce competition among EV makers has led to price cuts of up to 10 to 20% on popular models. So, what does this all mean for you, the consumer? Let's break it down. A surge in supply fueled by government incentives and cutting-edge technology is set to drive down EV prices. We're not just talking about a small dip. This could redefine what affordable means in the automotive world. First, let's talk about affordability. With EV prices dropping, these vehicles become an option for more people. Families and people who can now afford an EV as a practical choice, not just a luxury or niche market vehicle. But affordability isn't the only perk. What about choice? As more manufacturers jump into the EV market, you'll see a wider range of models, from compact cars to SUVs, with various features and price points. This means more power for you to pick a vehicle that fits your lifestyle and budget perfectly. Thinking long-term, the outlook for investing in an EV is promising. As infrastructure develops and technology advances, the functionality and value retention of electric cars are only going to get better. This makes buying an EV a smart decision not just for today, but for the future. The automotive industry is shifting towards electric vehicles. This change will lead to a significant reduction in carbon emissions, aligning with global and sustainability goals. Consumer trends show a growing preference for greener choices, and this shift will likely speed up as EVs become more accessible. What does this mean for the future prices of EVs? Looking ahead to 2024 and beyond, we're seeing some amazing trends and tech advancements that are set to make EVs even more affordable and appealing. How are they doing this? Well, new materials like silicon carbide and gallium nitride are making EV powertrains more efficient, lighter, and cheaper to produce. The charging infrastructure is also getting a big boost. Level 3 fast chargers, which can recharge EVs in just a few minutes, are becoming more common. Governments and private companies are heavily investing in expanding the fast-charging network, making it easier for EV owners to charge their cars quickly and conveniently. What else is going on right now? Another exciting development is vehicle-to-grid (V2G) technology. This allows EVs to send electricity back to the grid, providing a potential income source for EVs and helping to stabilize the grid during peak demanding times. This not only makes owning an EV more attractive, but also supports a more resilient and sustainable energy system. These advancements are making EVs cheaper, more practical, and more accessible. In conclusion, the electric vehicle market is on the brink of a major shift. From increased production capacities and new models, meaning there are more choices and better quality for consumers. The combination of government incentives and breakthroughs in battery technology are making EVs more efficient and less costly to produce. But wait, ever wondered why some EV owners are switching back to gas? Click on the next video to find out the surprising reasons behind this trend. Thank you for tuning in. Drive safe, drive smart, and perhaps drive electric.